What is up, everybody? My name is Leland, and this is the first episode of the 2024 presidential election race for Great America. This is a podcast I started in 2020, decided to bring it back as we get ready to do a whole new election season. With me today is my mom, Melinda, who really wanted to make a podcast and really wanted to voice some of her opinions about what she's seeing in this 2024 or 2024 presidential race. Hey, Mama, how's it going?
So far, so good. Thank you, Leland.
How did you enjoy the RNC week?
Ah, I thought it was bizarre. I thought it was crazy. The best stars that Trump could get was Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock. I mean, kind of the bottom of the barrel, in my view. And, tearing off his shirt. I mean, what the heck is that all about? And
Well,
then,
it really just pumps up the crowd.
oh, pumps up the crowd. Okay, well, they said when Trump was speaking for 93 minutes, a lot of people were falling asleep. And so I don't know how pumped up that is. But anyway,
Well, if you watch mainstream media, they made it seem like Trump was really doing a great job and that this speech was going to be a turn for him, that he was going to be more positive, unite the country. The mainstream media, to me, is playing a really big role on trying to make Trump like the front runner and that he's unstoppable, that he's just winning. What do you think changed? Why do you think the media is kind of doing this now?
I have no idea. I think it's bizarre. It doesn't make any sense when a person is talking about Hannibal Lecter. What are we going to have for supper tonight? I mean, that I don't understand. I think the media, a lot of the papers said like the first line of his speech, but they don't go into when he gets off the teleprompter and goes off script and comes back to being who he really is, and he's offered this project to 2025, which is a terrible plan for our country. What I'm most frustrated about right now is these Democrats in the Democratic Party who should be backing their own president who's accomplished so much in the last 3.5 years, and it's so chaotic. Nancy Pelosi, I can't believe the stuff that she's talking about. Others that have come, this Adam Smith. I mean, who is Adam Smith? Have anybody ever heard of Adam Smith until he came out and asked Biden to drop out? They need to get their act together. They're supposed to have their convention in August, like 2 weeks away, and they're all running around like chicken without a head. So Biden says he's staying in the campaign. He says he can't wait to get out there and campaign. He said over and over and over he's not dropping out, and they need to start backing him. They need to start backing him. I don't know why there is so much whimpering and complaining and all of the stuff going on with some of the people in the Democratic Party. I feel like if you can't win your constituents with your own might and with your own power, and you're gonna be blaming Biden if he's on top of the ticket and you don't win, which most all of them are ahead anyway. So it's just a lot of confusion, and I don't understand it. I don't like it. They need to get their act together and get behind their president. I mean, what happens to all the donations that all of our voters made out here for him to be in the race? What happens with all that money? He's got almost 3,000 delegates. I mean, I don't understand this party. The only thing I can think of, this is kind of hard to say, but maybe some of them make over $400,000 a year and they're going to get taxed. That's the only
I,
thing, because Biden said it's only the elite that want him to drop out. Biden is for the
I,
working class. He's for the working people.
I
And
100% agree with you. I do think it's because in 2025, Trump tax cuts set to expire. Biden has been vocal at the NCAA speech. He said he wants to tax billionaires 25%. They're getting taxed 8% right now, and a lot of them have loopholes to get around that 8%. He wants to tax corporations. He wants to tax wealthy people. He's not against rich people, but he wants to tax them because he's trying to bring in, he said over 10 years, that will bring in $550 billion for the US government. That's going to go to programs, infrastructure, all types of things that's going to be good for the government. But I do think the switch in the tone, I don't think it has nothing to do with the debate. I don't think Biden did anything different in that debate that I haven't seen Biden do before. And then also, Obama lost his first debate when he was going against Romney. It is a little bit more difficult for the incumbent to also prep for a debate when they have a country to run. So I've seen other presidents have bad first debate or bad first debates. So I think they're using this as a linchpin reason to go against Biden. And I really do think it boils down to the money. Trump is more favorable to rich people. All right. If you make more than $400,000 in this country, then Trump, you have a reason to vote for Trump. Also, with mainstream media, I'm sure their ratings was much better during the Trump era than the Biden era, is because Biden is not about him. We don't need to see him on TV constantly. I like the way this administration handled things. I like that I don't have to hear from my president every single day because he makes everything about him. So me personally, I like that. Is that good for MSNBC? Is that good for CNN? Maybe not. Jake Tapper makes $14 million from CNN. He's going to be one of the people affected by the Biden tax code who's going to tax the wealthiest among us. So looking at just his 14 million from CNN, he gains to pay an extra $2 million in taxes if Biden wins. So for me, that's a motive for him to constantly push this narrative of Biden should drop out. Biden has said he's not going nowhere. And why can't that be enough?
I don't know, but I'm going to let you continue with your podcast, and I'm going to just pay attention to what you're saying.
No, ma, this is a conversation. I want to. You've been telling me you want to get it out, so let's get it off. Let's
I
talk
told
about
you
what's
I
next.
wasn't going to talk very long. I mean, I'm with you all the way. I'm with you all the way. Biden is for the working class, and Trump is, for the rich. That's it. That's it.
And that's not.
The Democratic Party was supposed to be a party by the people, of the people, and for the people. And so, why the Democrat? So, if that's what they stand for, what is going on with them now?
They're
That
spineless.
Yeah, what is going on with them now?
They're-
It infuriates me. It makes me angry. Like, God, I can't believe this is the Democratic Party. Like, chaotic, can't get their act together. What is it
and and
going
they
on?
and the thing is, the Republicans stood behind Donald Trump at this court case for having sex, paying money, hush money to a porn star, but the Democrats can't stand behind Biden after a bad debate. That's
Yeah,
that's the that's the staggering part to me. That's the shocking part to me that the Democrats can't stand behind the president who has given them a great record to campaign on, right?
right,
Biden
right.
was not my first choice in the 2020 primaries. Okay, he was not my first choice. I was going for somebody else. But as things start to fall, as things start to put in line, and the corporate media had a hand to play in that one as well. And then when I start to see the job he was doing, I'm like, well, damn, you can't really argue with the results of what he's doing. I do think the switch of corporate media and a lot of these Democrats, it all boils down to money. I do feel that they wanted Biden in to fix the country after Trump horribly handled the pandemic, horribly handled any major event. They wanted Biden to fix the country because Dems fixed the country. Republicans may go into decline, give it a dip, and then they give it back to Dems to fix it. And I'm kind of tired of that you break it, we fix it model. Let's try to keep the Dems in office for the next 10 years. Let's try to keep it going for the next two. because then that's the only way we're really going to get progress. Republicans like to steer this country back. The whole make America great again even refers to that we have to go backwards, that there's something there was something better before that we need to go back to. So their whole party is about going the other way.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. They want to go back to with a J.D. Vance. He wants to, women should stay in abused relationship for the sake of kids, and the women should not be in the workforce. They need to be at home, taking care of home. Um, he doesn't believe in single parents. Well, I mean, he's just terrible. And this is a guy who spoke so terrible against Trump, and now he says, "See, that's what's with these Republicans. A lot of the people that were around him at the convention were people that voiced, uh, very terrible things about Trump, and they're all sitting there now, like I
Isn't that
don't
the
get it,
strangest thing ever?
huh?"
Isn't that the strangest thing ever?
It's very strange. Marco Rubio condemned him. Uh, the Cruz guy condemned him. They all condemned him. They all said terrible things about him, and now they're sitting around him like subjects. It's just ridiculous.
It's a kiss the ring moment. And you know what? Every time one of those guys go back on what they originally felt, it makes Trump look more like a powerful king and a dictator, that he has these people fawning over him, absolute defending him, complete loyalty to him. And if you ask me, that's not what an American president should do. That's not the American politics that I'm used to, that we have a king like figure in this country. The fact that people can't see that and that people get excited about that should have everybody up in arms, and have their red flags. I really don't believe the polling. They said it was going to be a red wave in 2022. It was a horrible night for Republicans. Every person that Trump endorsed pretty much lost, other than J.D. Vance and one other person. Um, do you remember Herschel Walker talking
Oh
about
yes, the football
vampires and
player.
werewolves, and that
Yes,
vampires are really cool people?
yes.
And now we have Trump talking about Hannibal Lecter, and will you rather get electrocuted or eaten by a shark? I mean, these are nonsense people who don't have a real plan. And one red flag I need people to start realizing with Donald Trump: if you're on the fence, if you're on the fence kind of voter, please keep this in mind. Anybody can come say I can fix it. I'm pretty sure you guys all had contractors at your house at one point in time saying, "Yeah, I could fix that, no problem." Ask them how. And if they don't have an answer for you, then that's a problem as well. Because I can come out and tell you right now, I can lower your taxes, I can make things go away. Boom. But the moment you say how, just wait and see is going to be a great plan. Nah, that's a red flag. That's BS. Biden actually does have policy. He can tell you and break down the plan of what he planned on doing. Um, and that's what people need to start focusing on. What are the policies for real, for real? What are you really trying to do, Trump? How can you really get it done? I just can't take your word for it.
Well, he would like to deport 12,000 people each day. That's number one. And
How much is that going to cost?
uh, if you ask him, well, how do you intend to do that? Right, no answer. They
No
tried to
answer.
get rid of Obamacare. The whole 4 years he was in, couldn't come up with a plan. They tried to do infrastructure. The whole 4 years he was in, never accomplished. Left with less jobs. When he left office, he left with less jobs than what he went into. He's bragging about. Actually, he's bragging about the things that Biden is doing, which he never did.
Never
He's
did.
bragging about manufacturing. He lost manufacturing jobs.
We
He's
lost
brag
jobs under Trump in the manufacturing district,
right,
and now
right,
they're saying it's a boom happening under Biden.
right.
So how can this be, Mama? How can this tell me? Have you seen something like this before in American politics? You and Biden are around the same age. Have you seen this before in American politics?
Well, I've seen propaganda before, but not to this degree. No. I
Gotcha.
mean, this is a man who loves Putin. This is a man, yeah, he says he can get rid of the Ukraine war in day one. He probably because he's going to tell Putin, we're not giving them any more money, no ammunition, no nothing. You can go take Ukraine. Yeah, that probably would end the war. Who knows?
Trump also said
Stuff, stuff like that.
he didn't know what NATO was until 2 months before he took office, but it took him 2 minutes to figure it out.
Oh,
I also want to debunk for anybody who may be listening to this podcast that may be a Trump supporter, maybe a MAGA lover. I want to debunk something. Trump always talks about how he was able to get money from NATO. NATO only pays for their own defense budget. Sometimes it's 2.5, 2%, or anything like that. They're supposed to pay for their own defense budget. He didn't make
yes,
money for us.
right.
NATO don't pay us. They pay for the defense budget, which is a big difference. So the fact that we have someone in there that's threatening NATO, which is our biggest alliance, our longest running alliance, why would he want to attack NATO? Why does he think NATO is not a good thing? NATO is a coalition of nations together saying, hey, if something happens to you, I got your back. Why is that a bad thing to him?
I don't think he understands it. I think that's it. He doesn't think they're paying their fair share to us, and so we pay more. But look at our population. Look at how big our country is compared to Sweden or Switzerland, and I mean, and they're all helping Ukraine along with us. We are not the only ones, but Trump wants to be isolated. He wants America to be isolated from the rest of the globe, which is kind of a ridiculous idea because we're a global economy. Because our economy is good, the European countries are doing better alongside of us, because of how good our economy is. But this is just Trump. It's a lot of propaganda. He's an entertainer. He knows how to rile the crowd up, and that's what people go for. But if you really listen to what he's talking about, he's not talking about anything. Why are all his generals don't want to see him be reelected? Why even Bill Barr, his attorney general, said he lost the race. And he's still spewing that same propaganda that the election was stolen from him because it's working for him. He knows he lost, but that propaganda slogan is working for him. So, um, when you talk to Trump supporters, they really don't have an answer.
They don't.
It-
They say the same stuff they hear on Fox News, and they all say the
right.
same
They
stuff.
don't have an answer. When you ask one of them, the older ones, do you care if your Social Security gets taken away? Oh, I haven't heard that. Or if you ask
Yeah,
them
they act like
anything,
they
oh,
they
I
act like
haven't
this
heard
is not a
that.
thing. Yeah,
What about Medicare? Do you need your health care, your Medicare? Well, I haven't heard that that's going away. You have pre existing conditions. Do you want to go back to where your doctor can't make a decision for you? The insurance company will? Do you want to go back to all of that? Ask yourself that, you know. But um,
yeah.
it
I
is
want
what it is right now. The only thing we can do, voice our opinion. Hopefully,
to
somebody is listening,
vote, vote,
and
vote.
and and will agree and go vote, but vote for the right person.
So I do want to talk about let's talk about the debate, right? Let's talk about the debate. It seemed like that was a turning point. Everybody, I mean, CNN is doing this thing where it's just sources from the Democratic side say, no names, no nothing. And it's kind of like what Trump does, right? When it say, I've heard people say this. They say this guy said is no real name, it's just made up
Can't name
imaginary people.
anybody, right?
So Jake Tapper had said that one of the Democrat colleagues had called him and said that, he's not like one of the other ones that's drinking and thinking about how he's going to lose this election because Biden is doing so bad during the debate. No name, no source, but this very extreme reaction to Biden's performance. Biden was not his like normal self. I mean, Biden is elderly. No one can argue with that. He does have a hard job, but the things that he did say was factual, and no one's talking about the 30 plus some lies that Trump said. Maybe we're just so used to Trump lying that no one's raising a flag anymore. I mean, are we just has the media just start to accept Trump lies as his regular thing and report them like they're factual? Has it happened in our media that they're so exhausted by his lies? Has Trump won over the media and they won't fact check them anymore?
I don't think so. There's still some voices out there. Uh, well, I shouldn't name voices, but there are voices that are exposing Project 2025 every day. There's Chris Hayes has this thing where he says they're always asking, "Were you better 4 years ago than you are today?" So he shows what happened exactly 4 years ago, and it wasn't good. The food lines, all of the cars and food lines, people waiting forever to get an unemployment check, millions of people dying from COVID because he told them, you need to inject bleach and, not do anything that can really help you. Uh, so there are things that are out there that are, against Trump. Uh, but the debate I I I wish if he has a September debate, I wish he would go back to not this muting stuff. Have the people in front of him. Biden is good when there's people in front of him, and Trump doesn't know how to be quiet. So show him rattling on and on and on. Don't mute him. Show him like what he is. He won't let somebody else talk. Go back to that format, and I think the next debate is going to be 100% better. If you go to the old format, I think he was this muting thing because they muted. What happened was they muted Trump, but Biden could still hear him in the background. We just didn't hear all that, and it probably confused him, and he was tired, and but guess what? He had an hour interview. He had let reporters ask him questions for over an hour. He answered every one of them. Uh,
Yeah, I don't
and if
think
they
Trump could have a press conference like that where
He couldn't
actual
answer
things are
any of
being
those questions.
discussed.
That's why he always says next fake news. That's not being tough and rough. That's being I don't know how to answer that question.
I am sick of the whole used car salesman type of approach to some of these serious questions. He used to irritate the hell out of me during COVID when serious questions was asked, but his ego couldn't get out the way and he wasn't really taking care of things. Like I said, Biden was never my first choice, but man, I'm happy with his administration. Yeah, inflation was bad, but he got it down. I feel like every problem that arise he addressed. I've seen people say, "Man, he saved me $75,000 in my student loans." I'm seeing people saying they're forever grateful. I really got a feeling like the people are going to come out, but with this constant media cycle of Biden drop out, 2-0, drop out, Biden drop out, and he's saying time and time again. Hester Lote, what was it? Hester Lote, what's his name? And
Lester Holt.
Yeah, Lester Holt, Hester Lote, Lester Holt. Um, yeah, his whole interview. Will you drop out? Will you consider how many times can you ask somebody the same question 5 different ways? And then the same thing with George Stephanopoulos.
I thought Lester Holt was doing his best to make Biden look bad, but he didn't make him look bad. When Biden said 42 million people, voted for me, and so Lester Holt asked him, "Well, are they still with you today?" And Biden told him, I don't know that, and you don't know that either."
True. They're making it seem like Biden is just done. And I guess this is how I guess Biden always says he's always underestimated. I think the people are going to come out. I don't think people who have sworn off Trump has any new feelings about him. I think it's the exact same feelings we have for Trump. There's nothing I saw at the RNC, nothing that I saw recently that made me be like, you know what, maybe I should give Trump a shot. Not at all, 100% no. But I really just don't get. And the thing is, everyone's telling Biden to step down without giving them a good solution or replacement. And it seems like the Democratic Party also don't want Kamala to run either. So if they don't want her to run, who would be the only person that should run? She should be next in line to have her shot. Um, but if they don't want her to run, then who do they want to run?
And guess
Actually,
what? Guess what else, Leland? A lot of these people in Congress are older than Biden. Nancy Pelosi is like 85 years old. Well, what is she still doing there? So are some. Grassley is 90 years old. What is he still doing there? They're all old age. Most of them in there are old age, and yet they have the gall to talk about Biden and his age. I mean, why are they still in Congress? They don't never want to leave, never want to retire. I mean, and they're older than Biden, but they got a lot to say. A lot of complaints, a lot of whimpering, a lot of, And Nancy Pelosi is not no longer speaker, but she acts like she's controlling the whole, causing all this dissension, and so are some of the others in there causing all this dissension. Why would you do that to your own party? Why would you do that to your own president?
and then this is conversations that should have happened in 2022, right?
Right.
This is not something we talk about 4 months, 108 days, 109 days, whatever away from November. We That's not when you do this. That makes us look so unprepared. Like we supposed to be the party that has everything together, right?
We're supposed
So
to be the party of unity, united. They don't
yes,
act like
united.
it.
United. And then other than Biden's age, what about his record can you point to say, well, that's gonna help him lose in November because what he got more jobs than expected. The stock market is doing better than ever. There's new roads, new bridges, new infrastructure, new upgrades at the airport. If you're an American citizen and you've been traveling recently, don't tell me you haven't seen the work of the infrastructure deal. If you're traveling through New York, if you're traveling through Atlanta, don't tell me you're not seeing the improvements or construction workers or people doing things to make things better. If you're driving on the freeway, don't tell me you're not seeing more construction than ever. And it's because of the infrastructure deal. You can go and look up and see where Biden has put money, what county, what city, and how much. They have it all full transparent for you to go see on the White House website. So the fact is, he's saying, I'm going to do this, and he did it. He didn't raise taxes for anyone making less than $400,000. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about the money. The tech bros are with Trump because of money. Corporate media is with Trump because of money. The money that Biden wants to get from these wealthy people is the reason why there is a freaking tsunami wall of bad press 24/7 against Biden.
Because he's for the working people. He told Lester Holt too. He said the next time if we have an interview, maybe we can actually talk about the issues instead of Lester Holt constantly asking him, these crazy questions, which he answered. Uh, which he answered every one of them without blinking. I mean, you know what? He answers all the questions. He faces reporters. What do they want from this guy? What more can you want from him? And so I just feel this party. He said even with the 25%, you're still going to be rich. You know, like he said, you should secretary shouldn't be paying more in taxes than you.
It's all about the money. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
mama, it is all about the money. These people do not want to pay the 25% that he wants to impose on people who's making more money. So guys, this is it. If you make under $400,000, your taxes won't be touched. If you make more than that, that means you are doing pretty well for yourself. That means that the new tax rate, yeah, it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take some more money out of your paycheck, but you're going to have a better country. You're going to have you're going to have better roads. Guess what? We all need roads. We all need police. We all need we all need these things. So the thing is, the country gives you an opportunity to make money. The tax is that it's the tax for that opportunity. But this is it all comes back to the money, mom. I'm telling you, everything that you're seeing in the media, everything that you're seeing in corporate media, MSNBC. I mean, I love MSNBC to a point. I like the fact that they post to be the blue side. CNN, same thing. Fox News, all the owners of these companies are the ones who are going to be paying the most through Biden's taxes. So they wanted Biden to fix the country. Now that it's fixed, now they want to keep the Trump tax cuts. But what's the point of making all that money if in 4 years Putin is going to be starting a new world war? So, I mean, but maybe war is good for their ratings. They got different motives than the average everyday American who goes to work to try to provide for their family. They have different motives. War is a good thing for them. That's viewerships, that's commercials. The business continues to grow. Everything that Trump does to constantly keep people tuning in to that channel is good for them. They have different motives than me and you.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to be voting for Biden, and everybody can vote their own conscience, but he's a good guy. He wants 4 more years to finish the job. I mean, he's done a lot, but he says there's a lot more to go. So, I mean, he wants child care. If the Republicans get in there, say goodbye to your kids getting free lunches and free breakfast at school. He wants to get rid of the Board of Education. Think about that, everyone. Think about that. He wants to get rid of the Department of Justice. He wants to get rid of all government agencies. If you're a federal worker, think about that. Not only that, he said he's going. There will be no more elections. He's never going. He's never leaving. He's going to be a dictator, and there will be no more elections. Think about that, everyone out there. Is that what you want for your country, or do you want to keep the democracy that we have, that people fought for, died for, all of the soldiers that died for our democracy? That's all going to be in vain if Trump gets in. And just that's just some of my those are just some of my views.
Yeah, and we all have that right to have those views and the points. And I'm sure there's people that disagree with us. We all have that. We all come from different backgrounds. I just what I'm seeing in the media is just driving me crazy right now.
Yeah.
It really is driving me crazy because I mean you can't argue with the numbers. You can't argue with the facts. I hope Biden pulls. Listen, I had a conversation with a MAGA couple in Detroit when the RNC or when Trump was there in Detroit a couple of like last month sometime. Had a whole conversation with them, and I said I think Trump is a great marketer. He's really good at branding. He's really good at selling a product. He's really good at getting you to believe that this product will change your life. I said if he went into vacuums, he'll be a top vacuum seller. The vacuum wouldn't clean a lick of your carpet, but boy, he made you believe it could. And if the proof I've had from that is look at all his past companies. He sold steak, he sold vodka, he sold, he sold education, and all those companies went bankrupt. He had an airline, bankrupt, had a casino, bankrupt. This is what he knows how to do. So he knows how to sell a dream. And unfortunately, there's so many gullible people that's willing to buy that dream from him and be committed to ignorance. They don't want to listen to facts. They don't want to know what really the numbers are. They just want to be blissfully ignorant and keep believing the dream that he's selling. And I told that couple that, and I said they had a couple of good nods. Like I can see that, I can understand that. So I'm not shocked when people are so diehard MAGA, because he's been selling his dream to them now, what, going on 8, 9 years, that they're going to have the best America. But what happens when he was in the seat? He made excuse after excuse after excuse and never took responsibility for why things didn't go the way he said they were going to go, why he couldn't build the wall, why he couldn't defeat Obamacare, why the pandemic was the way it was. He blamed Fauci. Fauci became the enemy of the people. This doctor who's worked with many presidents, he couldn't work with Fauci, became the enemy of the people, and it was Fauci's fault. Why did he lose the election? It was stolen. He's a whiny sociopath. Okay. He doesn't know how to lose. The other point that I pointed to this MAGA couple was, I don't believe Donald Trump has respect for American traditions. And they wanted me to give examples. Sure, the correspondence dinner, right? We didn't have one with Trump. And then also the peaceful transfer of power. First president not to be there to hand off that peaceful transfer of power. First president not to be. Why? Because he has no respect for American traditions. He doesn't have respect for traditions, period. If it's not his tradition, he doesn't respect it. And unfortunately, he has so many people following him, and they're following, and the Democrats and progressives and independents were screaming at MAGA to turn the other way. But he is really good at selling a dream. All right. He is really good at selling a dream. But you're
Well,
never going to get what he's talking about because he's a salesman.
well, his $400 gym shoes are like, I don't know, they're down to like $50. No, I don't know. He has one product after another. None of them last very long. He's
The
got a
product that
ton of
I hate
products.
that he
None of
has
them
is
last very long.
the product that drives me crazy is the American flag with the gold Trump words on top of it.
Oh,
That
wow.
shows you right there he has no respect for American traditions. He really
And
has no
putting
respect
his
for
name in the
American traditions.
Bible, putting his name in the Bible
Putting his
like he's
name next to the
loaded. Oh
Bible.
my God.
It's disgusting what he's doing. He has no
Yeah.
respect. There's no boundaries. There's nothing that he won't sell. Everything he can make him some money. And you've seen how desperate he was during all these court cases. So now you have Elon Musk, you have Dana White, president of the UFC, you have Joe Rogan, all these guys who back in Trump. And guess what? What those guys have in common? They're all rich. They're all
Yeah.
rich. They don't
Yeah.
care about the country. If war happens, they're fine. If famine happens, they're fine. If something happens, they're fine. It's not going to affect them like it's going to affect the everyday working people, especially the black community. The black community is the first community that feels anything. It was the black community. We got hit harder on COVID than any other community. So also, I don't know why. And this is the other thing. The press is not trying to support Biden. They're not trying to show his good moments. During the NCAA speech, Biden said, "What the hell was Donald Trump talking about? A black job. I know what a black job is, and that's vice president, that's president, and that's Supreme Court justice. That's what a black job is." And you think the media will play that? Not a lick. Not a
Yeah.
lick. They didn't show any of it.
And Trump never went to any of those type of meetings. He was never invited. He can't even hang around with the other presidents. They don't want him around them
The
anywhere.
RNC,
And that's Republican presidents
there was no, there were no presidents there
at
to
the
support.
conference, right?
None. There was no presidents there to support it.
No.
So I'm gonna be doing this podcast. I'm gonna be doing this podcast every week. I'm just gonna start doing one and just doing a recap of everything that I see and everything that I've heard. And that's gonna be my way of not losing my effing mind watching this this media blitz that's going on.
Well, I'll be
I think
looking
it's
in, Leland. I'll be
okay.
looking in. You need to
Okay.
run for Congress or something. You're great.
No, I don't. I like my soul the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't need to be
Okay,
seen.
you're a film director. You put out there Empathy, which is on Tubi.
Look at my
Uh,
mom giving me a plug. Thanks,
yeah,
mom.
and From the Yard. You good films. You've been at the recognized at different festivals and
Yep,
so
yep.
forth. Keep it up. I'm looking forward to your next movie.
Oh, me too. I don't know what it's gonna be, but we'll figure it out
It'll
one.
be a good one. I know that.
So I do want to show this one part about black jobs real quick, and I'll let Biden kind of lead us out a little bit here, because I feel like it's a moment that the media is not talking about, and I do think it's a good moment. So let me figure out how to share my screen real quick, and we'll leave out on that. But I'm happy you was able to voice your opinion, Mom. I know me and you both been going crazy, talking to each other all the time.
Yeah,
What
I
the
call
hell
you
is
every time
happening?
I panic. I call you.
I used to say don't panic. Now I'm panicking. I'm like, what the hell is happening? What the hell is happening? The media has totally changed on Biden. I don't get it. And you know what? The problem is that a lot of people they're not news junkies like us, right? So we're like really engaged and we're really watching. A lot of people get their news from Instagram. They get little snapshots of news. They'll get 10-second, clips of Biden saying something wrong and like, oh, he losing his mind. But they don't really dig in further than that. As far as a lot of people don't care about politics. You know what I'm saying? So they just know they might hear something. And then you know what? I hear a lot of people say, I'm voting for Trump because he gave me money during the pandemic. But why did he have to give you money? Why did he have to do it? Because things got so bad. Things got so bad under his plan and under his guidance that was the only way to save the economy. So don't get tricked. Don't get tricked. And then also, I want to say this about that check. He delayed that check from getting into people's pockets by 2 weeks because he wanted his name on it.
On a
What
letter. That's
kind of
right.
egomaniac
But
will
that
stop?
wasn't his. That wasn't his original idea. That idea of that stimulus came from Nancy Pelosi
Yes.
and the
It was a
Democratic
Democrat
Party.
idea. It was a
Right. It
Democrat
was a
who put
Democratic
that all
idea.
together, but they delayed it by 2 weeks. People were in emergency survival mode, and he delayed the check by 2 weeks just to put his name on it. And when Biden did his stimulus check, there was no name on it but the US government because it's
Right.
not about him. The
Yeah.
presidency shouldn't be what Trump made the president be. And if
And the
you
letter
disagree,
sounded
you are incompletely wrong.
like it came from him, from his own pocket or something. It was
Exactly.
really
Like he
stupid.
cashed it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But you see, when he had to pay for something, he gave all those boys Big Macs when he got to pay for something. He went cheap because he's
Yeah.
tacky. He's tacky, tacky, tacky. So that is the first episode of Gray America for this 2024 presidential season. Yes, there is rum in this cup. If anybody was wondering what I was drinking, it's not just rum, but it is rum in this cup, because that is where we're at right now, guys. So listen, guys, vote, and also don't vote, but encourage other people to vote. Have these conversations. This election will define the next 10 or 15 years of our life, right? So if you're with Biden, if you're with the working class, if you want to see people actually take climate change serious, it's hot as hell this summer. Don't tell me y'all don't feel that heat. It's hot as hell. Um, if you really think that the adults should be running the show and that politics shouldn't be a reality show, then man, go vote with your conscience. Vote for the person you think is going to do the better job. So my name is Leland. That's my mama Melinda, and I'm gonna end it with Joe Biden talking about what is a black job.
Amen.
I love his phrase, black jobs. Tells a lot about the man and about his character. Folks, I know what a black job is. It's the Vice President of the United States. I know what a black job is. the first black president in American history, Barack Obama. I was vice president to Barack, and she is my vice president. I nominated the first black Secretary of Defense in American history. He's doing one hell of a job. I nominated the first black woman to the United States Supreme Court. It matters. It matters. And I promised myself, and I promised America, that my administration would look like America. And I'm proud that we have the most diverse administration in all of history that taps into the full talents of our nation. That's who we are. These guys don't get it. That's why we're so successful. No, I'm serious. That's what makes us the greatest nation on earth. That's not hyperbole. Folks, it's because of you that I'm president and Kamala Harris is vice president. And by the way, she's not only a great vice president, she could be president of the United States. Thank you.